Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on Superman Lois Season 4. Today we're going to be talking about an interview that Bitsy Tulloch did where she teases what's to come in Season 4, plus we have another returning cast member who has been confirmed. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay, so in yesterday's video I talked about the return of the actors who played General Lane and Natalie in Superman Lois. They are back in Vancouver and they are shooting, and in that video I said I presume Will Parks is going to be back, and when I said that yesterday I was pretty sure of it, and basically today we've got confirmation that Will Parks, who plays John Henry Irons on the show, is back. Now of course this made complete sense because we've known for a good few days that Taylor Buck, who plays Natalie, is back for episode 3, so it makes complete sense that we've just got the confirmation from maybe a couple of crew members, not exactly sure who they are, but they were pictured having lunch or having breakfast with Will Parks, and the caption reads, "Welcome back." So Will Parks is 100% confirmed to be back in Vancouver. We can presume he is in episode 3 because that's the episode that they're moving on to currently. I don't know exactly where they're at, if they could be towards the end of episode 2 or they could just literally be starting episode 3 right now. But some of the actors had to go to the Saturn Awards, which we'll discuss later. That is an award show that is based in LA, in Burbank, so a lot of the actors, including Bitsy Tulloch, took a break from filming and went over to the award ceremony where Superman Lois was nominated for a number of awards. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but going back to John Henry, so John is going to be presumably in episode 3, and we were previously told that General Lane is only contracted to be in 2 episodes, so I don't know if that's going to be the same deal for every actor who comes back. I presume some characters take more precedent in terms of maybe showing up in 3-4 episodes rather than just 2. Like, I feel General Lane, yes, he's important to the show, but it's not the be-all end-all if he isn't in like every single episode like we've seen that in previous seasons. It works without him, but obviously he's a good presence to have around. And in the case of John Henry Irons and Natalie, for example, I feel like they're more important. They should have at least 3 episodes this season, if not 4, but I'm going to predict 3 episodes right now. I'll be quite shocked if they go and do 2 episodes. I would be quite shocked, honestly, if that was the case. And same thing goes for Sarah. I believe she'll be in more than 2 episodes. I think they definitely have a big part to play, and yes, the main aim is to wrap up all these character storylines. That's why they brought them back properly, but also they've got to take part in the proper storyline for the final season, and they will. I know that for sure. Like, John Henry is going to be involved in some of the action with Superman like he traditionally is, so I would expect some episodes, but yeah, if you look at the contract that General Lane is getting, because that character is only showing up in 2 episodes, I guess you could get a little bit worried about some of the other characters and the actors who are returning to the show, obviously as guest stars this time, rather than as series regulars after all the big budget cuts. But for now, I'm really looking forward to John Henry Irons returning. Let me know down in the comments below, how excited are you? Because I would say out of anyone, I'm probably most excited to see him and what he has to do in this final season. But let's move on to talk a little bit to do with the Saturn Awards. So, like I said earlier, the Saturn Awards is based in LA. Bitsy flew over from Vancouver to LA, and she was there for Superman Lois, and I guess on behalf of the rest of the cast, on behalf of Tyler. I reckon Tyler's just way too busy filming. Obviously he's the main character on the show along with Bitsy's Lois, but I guess they somehow figured out in the schedule for one of them to get some time off, and so probably Tyler had to stick around and basically work on whatever he had to do in the episode that they're currently filming. But there is an interview from mamasgeeky.com with Bitsy Tulloch that we need to talk about, so I'll leave a link in the description below. This is from Tessa Smith. She's a YouTuber as well, so shout out to her. She makes some great content, and she actually got to interview on the red carpet Bitsy Tulloch and talk a little bit about Superman Lois Season 4. So we're going to be going over the questions and Bitsy's answers because it actually reveals something very interesting, and honestly, I wasn't quite expecting it. So, is there anything that you can tease about this upcoming final season? Bitsy replies, "There are deaths involved. It's very epic, and we're going out with a bang. And in the end, there are actually very, very high stakes." So that's from the episodes that she's read, and I don't know if they finished writing those final episodes like episode 8, 9, 10, but clearly she's been given a good gist about what's going to be happening this season and the stakes at hand. I think they probably had, a meeting with the showrunners. The showrunners were also present at the Saturn Awards. I don't think they actually did many interviews, I can't find any. But clearly Bitsy and Tyler and the main cast members have been told what's roughly happening this season. So this is a huge revelation that there are deaths involved. Like, obviously Superman and Lois is more realistic, it's definitely darker, it's got bigger stakes than some of the Arrowverse shows in the past. Well, yeah, a lot of Arrowverse shows obviously dealt with death, there was a lot of death, like all of the different team members from all the different shows like The Flash, Supergirl, Arrow, they all dealt with like major deaths at some point. So you remember like Martin Stein dying on Legends, and then you had Oliver dying in Crisis, that was obviously huge. And so yeah, they've had to deal with a lot, and the stakes have been high on Superman and Lois in the past 3 seasons, but I guess I just wasn't thinking too much about them actually killing off anyone. And now that she's actually revealed that there are deaths involved, obviously she doesn't say if it's for the good guys or the bad guys, like Lex could die, it could be anyone that works for Lex, whoever's a bad guy this season could die. But also now we have to consider, what are these high stakes? Are these high stakes for our characters as well? Like, could one of them be killed off? And I think maybe John Henry could. Like, obviously, you just have to think to yourself and theorize and let me know down in the comments below. Who do you think could be on the chopping block for this season? It doesn't mean that they're not important, it's just if they want to raise the stakes and if there are deaths involved, they've got to go for someone that fans care about. They got to dig in deep and not hold back if they really want it to be truly high stakes. And so yeah, I'm thinking who's out in the field. Obviously there's Superman, there's Superboy, there's John Henry Irons, there's Natalie. I don't think they're going to kill Superboy or Natalie. I don't think they're going to kill Superman, even though they could have done a Death of Superman arc, but because it's 10 episodes in this season, I don't think that arc is going to be very long. I think Superman's probably going to defeat Doomsday in episode 1. Potentially we could even start with a flashback. But these deaths could come at any point, but you can presume it's probably like midway towards the end of the season. That's when you're going to see these deaths, because that's when the stakes are going to be highest as we head towards the end of the show and the eventual defeat of Lex Luthor. So yeah, what do you think about this? Let me know down in the comments below. And obviously with the budget cuts, they're going to strip back on a lot, and we've seen that with the cast members not coming back fully for all 10 episodes, but also you've seen it with the sets being relocated to inside studios. But in terms of all those budget cuts, could there still be room for it to be epic, for there to be great fight scenes, some really nice CGI like Superman and Lois has had in the past? Well, Bitsy claims that it's very epic, so you can presume it's not going to be just like a family drama and it mainly be in like a few locations within Smallville, and there'd be like barely any Superman action. I presume with these comments we can take away that maybe they're trying to retain some of that quality action that we've had in the past. Obviously we'd all love to see that because it was so good. Like, Superman and Lois is renowned for its action scenes and how great it looks on screen for a TV show that's not like an insane budget. So yeah, that's what she had to say in regards to the first question. Let's go through the second question. So what was it like when you got the scripts for Superman and Lois season 4 and you read through them? What was your reaction? Bitsy replied with one sentence. She said, "I was crying." Now, I don't know if that's just for the cameras and that's why she said it, but if what she's saying is true, it could be emotional. Like she said, there is deaths involved, and obviously this is emotional for them as actors because this has been a big project for them. This is 4 seasons, obviously it could have gone on a lot longer, but because of the circumstances at the CW, season 4 is going to be the final season of Superman and Lois. So if she was actually crying, I'm sure it was on like many levels in terms of like personally and the project, and also it can definitely be to do with what she's reading in the scripts. So before we end this video, I just wanted to say a huge congrats to everyone from Team Superman Lois, the cast, the crew, and everyone that has worked on the show, because they did win another Saturn Award, and Bitsy did a speech. I'll leave it linked in the description below. So they won best superhero show, which obviously is a no-brainer. Like, Superman Lois is such a good show, and it's got that quality that is just outstanding, and I think everyone was just so shocked when Superman Lois came about, especially it being part of the Arrowverse, coming from a universe that wasn't necessarily renowned for being like great TV, and that's because of people's hatred of the CW and just the kind of teen dramas that they did. But yeah, I love the Arrowverse shows, but I love Superman Lois. Like, seriously, they've done some really great stuff in the past 3 seasons, and I'm really looking forward to season 4. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Todd Helbing and new showrunner Brent Fletcher have to offer in this final season. And obviously I'm super excited to see everyone else returning in this final season and seeing how much screen time they have, and obviously the way that they wrap up their stories. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Please be sure to leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed it. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video. And so I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see room.